Alright, yo, Surgeon, we're finally glad to have you here, man. It's been forever. Finally, socially distancing myself from you, but finally you come on the show.
Finally come on the show, doing my best, 92 Jordan, Olympics impersonation game.
Yeah, speaking of Jordan, so now ESPN's coming out with that new documentary on middle of April. How pumped are you to finally watch this?
To be honest with you, I actually didn't even know they were releasing the documentary initially, to be honest with you. So it just it caught me off guard.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of good with this whole coronavirus, COVID-19 stuff going around. It gives sports fans something to watch, right? I mean, I'll get my opinion on what they should do with the NBA and like all those major sports seasons.
Tell me what you think they should do with it. Tell me what you think should happen.
To be honest with you, I think like they should just vacate the season. Like no champion, no winners whatsoever, and just restart the season, man. I think that's the best bet to do it. That way it's a little bit more competitive going on. We got a special guest over here coming through.
Another special guest. There we go. We got Tarjan, the surgeon's brother, on the show now too.
What are we talking about today, boys?
Talking about coronavirus, baby. What's going on in the world?
It's coronavirus!
There you go.
Fuck, man. NBA shut down because of coronavirus. Still doing the podcast and shit.
That is, the grind never stops, bro. The grind never stops.
Like that.
Hey, look at this, man. When you get a special guest on your podcast, finally get a special guest.
There you go. Finally, we get a special guest on the show. Finally. Tarjan, what do you think? Do you think they should cancel the leagues? Do you think they should cancel the sports leagues or what?
Do I think they should?
Yeah, or what should they do? Should they cancel or just continue the season?
I mean, it's already canceled, so like, what's happening is like makes sense to stop it for a bit, but like obviously they should not cancel the season, right? Like, postpone everything for sure.
Yeah.
We still want to watch, right? Like
we're still sports fans. We want to watch, right?
Yeah, even this year, bro, the players were gonna be filthy, man. Like
they were.
Crazy, man.
NHL and NBA, we're all gonna miss out on that.
Like this year, probably, you couldn't say who's gonna win. Like, in
that's true. That's true. The first time in a long time, you wouldn't know who's gonna win.
Yeah, you have your favorites for sure, but the way every team was like laid out, it was like anybody could take it.
That's right. That's absolutely correct.
You got a point. Like, see, like that's his opinion. Like my opinion was like I think they should just restart the season. But
no, why the fuck we restarted it?
I just think like logistics wise, just like everything scheduling wise. Because like think about it, if they're gonna restart the season, it's like when are they gonna start next season again? When's it gonna finish? Like,
exactly. That's what I was thinking too. Like if you restart the season, right, it affects the seasons to come. Unless you really want to change your whole schedule for your seasons to come, then continue on. But it's gonna mess up everything if you continue it on like that.
Yeah, I think maybe like this could be a good thing. I think the NBA should go into the 1 through 16 playoff seeding.
I think that's I feel like whatever the NBA does first, everybody else is gonna follow because the NBA always is the proactive league that will try to do something, and then everybody else will follow them, right?
Even if they don't, even if they continue the season how it is from where it is, I mean, we still get to watch like an NBA.
For fans, it doesn't matter, right? We get to finally get to watch sports,
it in the months where we don't get to watch it,
right? Yeah. But yeah, Sergio, what do you think about that? Are you excited to watch that MJ documentary or what?
Oh, buddy, that's what I'm looking forward to.
I'm my man right here.
Tarjan, are you excited for it or what?
That's the only thing.
That's really the only thing we have to wait for now, right?
I mean, we got the old school reruns and all that too.
Yeah, but this is something new, right? That you haven't seen before.
Never seen, yeah. And it's a proper like documentary kind of thing, properly made.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to watch it.
They should just drop that shit like this week or something.
Well, I think it's only like 2 weeks from now, right? But yeah, it's definitely going to be...
19th, they said?
Yeah, 19th to 20th.
That's still a fuck, like
19th, 20th, it's like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. Do you think that those Bulls teams are the best of all time? Of any?
That season actually is the last season of Bulls. That's like the 97, 98 season, right?
The thing when you talk about best of all time, you got to look at every era.
But like at the end of the day, don't you think though, like every team that's ever been, every dynasty that's ever been in the NBA, there was never one as dominant as those Bulls teams ever?
The Bulls are really team.
I put the Lakers up there too. Like they're just
the Shaq and Kobe Lakers are up there.
Imagine if they played in the same era, those two teams.
Would you put the Warriors in there? The just this past Warriors with Kevin Durant and everything?
That's the thing. For the
Warriors fan right here, you can ask him.
For that era, I'd say, you could say they were a good team, but then again, like that team was like not built. It was more made. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, right?
Right. But I mean, okay, from 2016, they were made, but when Durant came, like
because they lost with that original squad they had. They won one and lost one, and then they won once Durant came to put them over the top, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But that's the thing, man. There's so much other shit like it's coming in kind of thing. Whereas like with that Bulls team, like that was like made, like that was a start. I could say you could consider them the number one because that was the start of something.
Yeah, I mean definitely. Like you could. I don't. What do you think, Surgeon?
No, I was thinking start of what? What they started?
Like the competition of best team of all time.
I mean, there's competition before that, but yeah, I guess yeah, it's a valid point right there. Yeah. But I mean, the documentary doesn't base off the 72 and 10 team.
No, it documents off that last year, the Last Dance, right? But I'm just talking about in general, right? Reflecting on that, do you think they're the best team of all time?
72 and 10 Bulls?
Just I'm talking about just like a team in an era, right? If you look at that last three-peat team of the Bulls compared to the first three-peat team, or the Showtime Lakers, Bird Celtics, Kobe Shaq Lakers, whatever like that. Something like that.
All that, like I agree with him. Like we should look at
eras
and stuff. Like I say look at decades. You have a 10-year span.
Mm-hmm.
Like from what? Like from the 80, like from what? Like 1980 to like 1990. Who would you say the best teams were? Like I would say you had the Lakers. Like I don't know the old school teams. Like I haven't.
Let's keep it modern. Let's say from the 80s and onward.
80s and onwards, right? So let's say from 1980 up to 89, or 1990, whatever you want to pick.
Yeah.
You had the Lakers win, you had the
Celtics
Lakers win, you had the Celtics win, and you had
the Pistons
win. And I think those are three teams, right? If I'm not mistaken, they could be another team.
Might have been I think Philadelphia might have won one title, but I think those are the three teams in that era, right? The Bulls, not the Bulls, the Lakers.
I would even say it was just Lakers and Celtics in that era, right? Those are the top.
Yeah, I mean, Bird and Magic kind of defined that whole era, right?
Those are the top two players in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come into 1990 to like to 1999, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or 2000, whatever. In that era, by far the Bulls, and you got to give Houston in there because they won 2 championships in between.
But I think if Jordan never retired, they could have won like 8 straight titles.
I don't think so. I think that would be too difficult, and I think it's just a fatigue. Like winning 3 straight championships, like as a fatigue.
Yeah, you looked at it, man. Like
talking about it, you hear Kobe talking about this fatigue. I don't think they would have gone to 8 straight. Like
yeah,
LeBron won 8 straight finals, but on 2 different teams, right? So that's a different story.
Yeah, 2 different teams. Yeah, but then that's the thing, right? Like I think that's what's so cool about this Bulls team was. If you look at they might have been so amazing on the court, but if you look at they had so much turmoil in the locker room and stuff like that with Phil Jackson, their GM, their owner, with Jordan, Pippen, the whole team, and all that stuff like that.
So I did a little bit of research and so that document that year Jordan's on a 1-year contract, Rodman's on a 1-year contract, Phil Jackson contract's up. And then beginning of the season, Jordan's like, I'm only playing for Phil Jackson.
Yeah, I think Scottie Pippen said he wasn't going to play anymore with the Bulls anymore. So I mean,
Jerry Krause is like, hell no, I ain't bring it back, Phil Jackson. And after the season, the Bulls won the championship. Last Dance, final shot in Utah. Everybody remembers it. Well, I wasn't born to watch. Like I was.
We weren't born to watch it. Yeah.
Remember it, But besides the point, I know about it. And but after that, the Chicago Bulls, up until now, present day, have only won 5 playoff series.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy how much that team and how long it's taken them to rebuild. Yes, they had like a peak when they had Derrick Rose, but the Chicago Bulls franchise has never been the same ever since Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Phil Jackson all left.
So they won a playoff series, I think, without Rose one time.
Yeah.
And then they won 3 when they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. And then they won another one with D Rose, and that was it.
Yeah.
So they won 4 playoff series with D Rose, and then 1 without him. And after that, it's like they haven't been in the playoffs since, right?
It's crazy, right? It's crazy.
That's tough for another day. I think they're doing a horrible job.
Yeah, that's something for another day. But what I was going to say also is, did you hear what Melo was saying about how if he got drafted by the Pistons back in the 03 draft, he would have won 2 or 3 titles? Do you think he really would have won 2 or 3 titles with those Detroit teams? Because I think he would.
I agree with that for sure. Like that 04 Pistons team, like they went to multiple conference finals. I don't know the number off the top of my head.
Well, they won the title and they went to the finals and lost in Game 7 to San Antonio the year after.
But they went to multiple. I meant to say
they were in the multiple conference finals.
That's what I meant to say.
This is my thing. If Melo had got drafted by the Pistons, he wouldn't have been a starter on that team, in my opinion, because you had Tayshaun Prince, you had Rip Hamilton, you had Rasheed Wallace in your front court with Ben Wallace, Chauncey Billups. I think Melo would have been coming off the bench as an offensive player, But also the biggest thing is those teams were crazy defensively. They were holding guys to under 70 points a game. I think Melo would have learned a lot about defense, and also it could have changed the whole trajectory of his career.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Like in that season, Melo, Syracuse, like in his college season, they played his zone defense, right?
Mhm.
So not a lot of man-to-man coverage and not a lot of defense, and so
Yeah.
like not a lot of defensive responsibility, right, on one sole
Exactly.
guy, right? Whereas like that Detroit team, I think I would have came with a bench, but playing, and to your point, playing with like guys like Tayshaun, Chauncey, Ben Wallace,
Because that team gets forgotten, but another great team, man. Like they were, even though they won one title, they were definitely a dominant team in the mid.
dominant team in the East for sure in the
Yeah.
mid 2000s, like early 2000s, right? So for sure.
Yeah.
And then
Well, until LeBron kind of ended that when he beat them in 2007 or whatever, right?
we can come up with these what if scenarios, but the biggest thing is we probably would have just got a different Melo. Like
Yeah, and I think Melo,
Melo.
if Melo was drafted by those Pistons teams, it would have been a totally different Melo. You wouldn't have seen that ISO ball dominant guy. In my
Yeah, because he would have came into the team with leadership and a culture already established.
mhm.
Whereas like when he went to Denver, he's the guy, right? Just
He
like
was
LeBron was the guy
exactly.
in Cleveland, and et cetera, like and that's a lot of pressure coming on like 18, 19-year-olds, right? I remember when I was 18, 19, I don't know what the hell. I was
Yeah,
doing,
I think about it. He was just coming out of college, 1 year college, and he put a whole franchise on his back, but everything was catered towards him, right? In Detroit,
Yeah.
he would have to learn how to be a team player, a team guy first, right? He wouldn't have the team built around him. That would be the biggest thing. Possibly, we could have changed his trajectory of his career, right?
Maybe he won a championship at Syracuse, so I mean, who knows,
Yeah.
right? He had if he would have won one in his first season in NBA, maybe that would have changed his mentality.
Exactly.
Who knows? The biggest what
Exactly.
ifs, great things like that. And but getting back to my point, like I think from 2000 up until 2010, I think the big teams are Spurs, the Lakers. You had rarely a few teams in the East win. I think you just had the Pistons win and Boston.
I think the Pistons and Boston, even like the both. I think,
Miami.
oh yeah, Miami. So basically, 3 teams out of those 10 years won. It was pretty much dominant. But I think Celtics had to beat the Lakers.
Yeah.
The Celtics had to beat the Lakers.
No,
the Heat.
The Heat beat
Dallas. He beat Dallas, and I think Detroit beat the Lakers. You think there's only really one finals in that whole decade that didn't include the Spurs or the Lakers in that whole decade, right? Which is crazy.
Yeah,
That's why for me, like that's the 2 teams that defined that whole era, right?
that were and I think the tens.
It's pretty much any team LeBron was on.
Yeah, LeBron. Well, you had the Heat,
Then you had the Cavs.
you had the Cavs, but I would say the Warriors too. You got to give the Warriors.
Yeah, of course. Well, the Warriors won all the titles, right? So I would think that.
Warriors from the West. I would even maybe give from the West. I mean, there weren't a lot of teams from the West winning it. Spurs even, they won a championship at that era too, right?
Exactly, but they had to go through they went through an old, like you said, after the third year of the Heat went to the 4th time in a row the Heat went to the finals, went for their 3-peat.
The fatigue.
They lost because they were fatigued and they were tired and they were old at that point. They were broken down, right?
But Kawhi was a bad.
That's when Kawhi really first came out in the world and kind of showed off his real skills, right?
But yeah, even now, like I think you can go within that time frame, like in this 10-year period, and you can find like who are the best players. You have like Magic, and
Magic, Bird, Isaiah.
And then you had Jordan. Just Jordan. I think Jordan.
I think we can all agree that during that the 90s decade, it was pretty much all Jordan. But even in the 80s, the late 80s,
but you had fantastic players. Like you had like Charles Barkley, you had
Patrick Ewing, John Stockton,
John
Gary
Stockton,
Payton, right? It was
Patrick
crazy.
Robinson,
Right?
two great guys. And even in the 80s, that's like Julius Erving. Who else was in the
Young
80s?
Michael Jordan with the hair,
Michael Jordan with the hair, yeah.
right? It was crazy. So it's definitely something that was amazing.
Moses Malone, you had
Moses Malone, yeah. Even then, you had like guys like
Even in the early days, you had guys like Kareem.
Kareem still, yeah. Even Kareem was still productive with the Lakers, right? It was definitely something that was very, very. You could look at all the decades and stuff. You could see like I was listening to a podcast, and it was saying like the 80s was all like big man, all through the post, right? And you look in the 90s, it was kind of all mid range, and then kind of now it's all veered to all 3 points now. It's all stretching the floor now.
I would even say the big man lasted up until like the 90s, man. Like, even into the 2000s, like you had a lot of still half court.
But yeah, you look at it now, like predominantly now it's all spacing and all 3-point shooting now, right?
I think the game shifted, like in like 2015, 2016.
Those
around
Warriors teams really changed the league
when,
by then.
when that Warriors team won, yeah. And now you see Houston playing with 5 out. They don't even have a center, but that's something different. Like now you have guys like but that gets opportunities for guys like Russell Westbrook can drive and kick, right? And then James Harden can take the hole, and I think James Harden's a fantastic player, but people think he's overhyped. But I think
I think he's a fantastic offensive player. I feel that offensively minded, he's probably one of the most gifted players offensively that we've ever seen. I don't know if you can win with him though. That's the only my thing. But then again, I could be wrong. I just don't know if you can ever win with the type of player. He's so ball dominant.
All questions, these are all great questions, and I agree with you on that. And it's like, but another point, I think in Houston they should change Mike D'Antoni.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think D'Antoni as well. I don't think he's the right coach.
But he's a fantastic coach.
Crazy offensive mind, right? But the thing is,
he was out in New York too for a bit with the Knicks.
New York, Phoenix, stuff like that, right? So I just think that he's not the best coach to do. He's a great coach, but I don't think he's the coach to really push you over the top to have that championship level coach. That's just my personal opinion, right? But
yeah, no, I agree. Like, and I think, no, I agree with that. But it's like he's a great coach, fantastic. But I don't think he. But then again, that year too, when they made the conference finals, Chris Paul got injured. Like, if he's not injured, totally different scenario too. Right? There's a lot of what ifs, and you don't think a lot of luck, right? As a coach.
Well, if you look at the Raptors, right? People think the Raptors got lucky. Well, any championship team gets lucky, right? If you look at the Raptors last year, yeah, they beat a shorthanded Golden State team. But you look at Golden State's first championship, they beat a shorthanded Cleveland team, right? So I mean,
and I think people don't really get that. Whereas like in a sport like hockey, you need luck to go your way, like that.
Exactly.
That's that's what
the NHL, right? You have injuries, you have people. Any sport, you have injuries, you have like some circumstances, right? Everybody has to get a little bit of luck to win. You can't win. Like you said, if you're fully healthy, that's completely lucky because you're guaranteed to get an injury or two during the year, right? Or during the playoffs or whatever. You're guaranteed to get an injury. And if you don't, that's probably one of the most luckiest things you can get in sports, in my opinion.
Classic saying, man. The team that comes to play that day usually wins,
Exactly.
Day by day. You can't, you can be the top team and you can not come to play one day, get knocked out. NCAA, we see it all the time, that's the big thing just missed right now, March Madness. No one's talking about that.
That's what's so great about March Madness is you never know what's going to happen because it's so unpredictable, right?
And I didn't watch a lot of college ball this year, but I was excited to see prospects like Cole Anthony, Anthony Edwards out of Georgia. It was
going to be a really interesting year because I didn't watch it that much, but I was also interested to see who are these next potentials because last year was really the first time I really watched like somebody like John Morant play, right? You really got to see what he was like, and you could see now what he's doing in the NBA, right?
Zion, all these guys, and it's like this year, obviously LaMelo and what's the other guys?
You think LaMelo goes number one?
Hampton, LaMelo went to. I didn't watch a lot of that. James Wiseman, is unfortunate, fiasco with the NCAA, right?
Yeah,
I kind of find dumb.
The NCAA is crooked like that anyway, though.
Yeah. And then, so, but we still got prospects like, Cole Anthony, Anthony Edwards, those are just two guys that I know off the top of my head, but, there's probably, way more, right?
Exactly.
Like,
I was going to say, do you think LaMelo goes number one in the draft?
I don't know, man. It's just, I think it's based on the team, it's like, if I'm a GM and I'm the Warriors and I get the first pick, I'm maybe looking to get it big, because, you got...
You already have your backcourt and your wings set, right? You have Draymond, you have Andrew Wiggins, you have Clay, you have Steph. What do you do?
You know that I think the Warriors are going to be scary next year because you got a guy, Steph's coming back, Clay's going to be healthy, They're going to be well rested. They're going to be fresh. Draymond, and then those are three core guys right there, right? But then you get a guy like, and Andrew Wiggins, driving kick, And I think he's going to become a better shooter, just playing with guys like, Clay and Steph, there to teach him how to shoot better.
I think that this is going to be good for him because he's finally in a winning culture. Being in Minnesota's such a losing environment and such like constant change. I think having structure and being in that Warrior system will definitely flourish for him. And that's something that he would actually need him to take his game up. Because if you think about it, he got drafted, but to Cleveland, he got traded right away, right? And I feel that that's always been in his mind, right?
You froze there for a second.
Whatever. We'll talk about Tom Brady right now.
Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
What do you think? Why do you think Brady kicked it to Tampa Bay?
I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't keep up with a lot about free agency and football, but I think from what I know, I heard the huge narrative around it was like, Belichick, just had a rift, because there were trade rumors with Tom Brady back in 2016 and stuff like that. Like who knows? We were in there in the meeting. Maybe Tom Brady, just wanted to get out of New England. Like LeBron did it with the Lakers. It's just like
yeah. But I'll ask you a little bit more of an easier question. Do you think that it was the Patriots' success was due to Brady, or was it more due to Belichick? Who gets more credit?
That's tough, man. I mean, obviously, a quarterback's probably one of the most important positions on the field, right? But I think it takes a whole team, man. Any team sport, everything. It goes down from the coaching to the players, everything. But I do think, in my personal opinion, like, as a coach, you can only say, what you want, emphasize. It's like you make the game plan adjustments and you do the play calls. But the guys that are executing, I think they, play more of a factor in terms of winning. So I think Brady edges out Belichick, but both great, man, individuals. And then I think this is maybe Brady just left a Tampa Bay to prove something, Also, they got a good receiving core with Keenan Allen. No, not Keenan Allen. Mike Evans. Sure about how the defense ranked last year.
The defense was pretty good. Their defense was solid. They did start off slow, but they definitely picked up at the end of the day. They have really good players like Shaquille Barrett led the league. It was top sack guy. So I think Tampa's going to be a good team. Plus, now there's going to be 7 teams in the playoff. An extra added team. There's going to be 7 teams in the playoffs. So that's definitely going to be a boost for some team like Tampa. I think it's a fringe team. Right? I think New Orleans is better than them in that division.
Yeah.
Right? So I definitely think that's going to be a benefit for Tampa. Right?
They just signed Emmanuel Sanders from San Fran, right? So, but I think, all in all, I think just Brady going to Tampa Bay, I think it's better for the league, like.
It's a fresh start, right? Fresh beginning.
Start, and I think it's really different than I think Cam Newton should go to the Patriots.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think the Patriots kind of want to draft a quarterback. I think Cam's going to. The only problem with Cam Newton is he's hurt always, and nobody knows if he's healthy or not, right?
I would have thought Cam would have gone to Chicago, but Chicago had Nick Foles and
Big Dick Nick, yeah.
There, right? Big Dick Nick, right?
I want to go back to basketball for a second. I was watching again. I'm so bored. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. I want to ask you something. Or you can relate this to hockey too if you want. Who's the greatest player that's never won a title?
That's tough, man. Because it's like there's a lot of great players, right? It's like in hockey. I mean, being a Vancouver fan, my personal opinion. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. I personally wasn't a fan of the Sedins, but I'm fortunate enough to see him in my lifetime. Great players, one of the all-time great Canucks of all time. Better team to multiple playoffs. Almost a Stanley Cup. Great. A lot of good for the community, but they just didn't like that's not the play style I like. The way they play.
Yeah, I mean, that was the same way. I wasn't a huge Sedin guy back.
No, the Sedins, great talent, right? So you get the Sedins.
I'm not sure I understand.
You got the Sedins in there. Shoot, who else you can put in there? You can put in Joe McGilla, man. One of the all-time great, right? Yeah. Underrated, There's Joe McGilla. Shoot, he's retired in the NHL. I'm trying to. I've fallen off from hockey the last few years since 2011, so I haven't kept up a lot with hockey. Joe Thornton. I mean, I'm not a huge Joe Thornton fan, but you got big names like that. Putting up stuff like that. Ovechkin. What could have been that guy?
Your boy Ovechkin. I always remember you used to wear the Ovechkin jersey in high school.
Yeah, I still have it, man, up in the closet. But Ovechkin could have gone down as that guy, but he pulled off a Stanley Cup. So now he's in discussion for the greatest goal scorer of all time, which I think he is. But
this era totally he is, man.
700 Club, right? And then in the NBA, man, you got guys like Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady,
Melo, AI,
Berkeley, Melo, AI,
Malone Stockton,
yep.
Steve Nash,
Reggie Miller, Steve Nash. But Steve Nash got 2 rings as a consultant with the Warriors. But
I mean, I'm talking about playing wise though. It doesn't doesn't really mean much to me.
Shoot, you got him. He could not get over the hump, man.
I mean, you could put their own guys like Westbrook, Harden.
I would put them in that category because they're still playing.
They're still playing. Yeah, I mean, as of right now, they haven't won one yet. But when it's all said and done, we don't know if they're going to win. They could have won in Houston, right?
They could have, so you never know. Jamal Crawford, you need to put him in there, journeyman, but
dude, Jamal Crawford, I think he needs to get signed soon, man. Like some team could use him.
We'll see, man. Hopefully, even Nate Robinson, man. Great player.
Nah, man, Nate Robinson's done in the league.
No, but overall, I think there's a lot of great players. It's just a lot of luck has to go your way. Everything just has to align in order to win championships, and it's like it takes a lot, and it's like it's unpredictable. Like to be honest with you, I wouldn't have thought the Raptors won. I was like, oh, the trade for Kawhi, who knows if they win or not, but luck went their way. The shot. 4 bounces, man, went in,
Exactly, right?
Luck,
You never these bounces really helped them out. So any team that gets bounces like I said, right?
Yeah. So. Speaking on Kawhi, man, I think I remember they were having this discussion on First Take, and Stephen said it. I'm not saying exact play style, but efficiency wise, and the mid range shots that he takes, Kawhi's the Jordan Kobe,
he's from that school. He plays. He's got a great mid-range game, and he plays wing defense to a T, right?
Yeah.
He comes from that Jordan Kobe tree, right? If you look at that, those wings that are able to shoot the mid-range shot, play wing defense, right? Have that killer instinct and want to win. Now Kawhi comes out in the playoffs. He doesn't do it every day game in the regular season, right? But when it's time to show up, you definitely know Kawhi is going to show up.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think Kawhi to solidify himself. He's already solidified himself as one of the all-time greats, but I think he can put over the edge by, winning a regular season MVP. If he wins that, he'll have regular season MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Finals MVP, so it's Kobe hasn't won a Defensive Player of the Year, I think, and neither has LeBron, right? So no. Jordan's the other guy.
Jordan won it, but he won MVP scoring title and Defensive Player of the Year in 1 year, so it's just crazy.
Speaking of Jordan,
that's something that I would never ever see ever again in my ever see in NBA time ever again. I think.
I didn't get to witness.
We never witnessed it.
I hear stories from
it's something when you see it, some guy won MVP, scoring title, and a Defensive Player of the Year all in 1 year, something like that. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, I hear stories from high school teachers, older cousins, uncles, my dad. Even though my dad doesn't know basketball, but he knows about Jordan, right? You hear all these great things about him, and it's
crazy,
you
right?
See him online, watch clips and stuff, but just the documentary thing is going to give us a little peek into it, how he was mentally. It's
exactly. That's something that I can't wait to see, right?
Recipes Kobe, but even Kobe spoke on it. He's when you come into the league, he's he was a perfect player. He's why would you not want to chase perfection?
Exactly.
And I think from Jordan, we got guys LeBron, we got guys like Kobe, we got guys like Dwayne Wade, Melo, he inspired a whole generation of ball players. He took the game international.
He's still inspiring people. People still say that Michael Jordan is their favorite player, and people that are super all these young people coming in now that never watched him play, or they remember him when he played for the Wizards, right? He's still with the power of social media, YouTube, and stuff like that. You can see him play.
Right here, baby. Still making an impact.
Okay. Oh man.
No, it's I'm still buying Jordan, right? So he's just for sure he's the greatest of all time. These are my opinions. In my opinion, I think he's the greatest basketball player of all time. Kobe's the greatest scorer. LeBron's the best all-around guy.
Well, that's a totally different discussion for a different day that we can really dive into, but.
Right, but those are just my opinions, right? That's what makes sports so beautiful, not having sports around.
But yeah.
But speaking on that, that's why sports is so beautiful. It's just subjective. It's everybody's opinion. There's no right or wrong answer.
Beautifully said.
Right. So I hate Boston Bruins, but they're a great team. In hockey because they're just a great organization. They know how to win, but I hate them. So.
Well, I appreciate it, Surgeon. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for coming on.